Thank you, Mr. Brackety Cool.
For the last couple of minutes, we'll break if it's busy to get to Australia now for a few days. You had a bit of a break in Sydney, right?
Yeah.
But they didn't turn on the weather for you or anything like that?
No, we don't mind it because it's still nice weather anyway. It's snowing in England.
I think, there's a big interest in Tin Soldier, your record, which is, I think, will make the chart probably next week up here.
Yeah.
But it's taking off like a rocket in the States, I understand.
It is, yeah, it's 21.
That's not bad for starts, anyhow.
16. Oh, sorry, 16.
If only they jump 5 places in 2 seconds. First of all, I think just before you came in, Paul Jones selected the P.P. Arnold record, which you guys figured in quite largely, so perhaps you'd like to tell us about it.
Yeah, Ronnie and Steve wrote it, and we all arranged it, sort of thing, and we all played on it, produced it and everything.
And in fact, you guys are doing your own production all along the line now?
Yeah, all the time. Yeah, we write songs for other people and everything.
Yeah, it seems to me that that your scene is becoming larger and larger because, right back from, so we go back to the Sha-La-La days,
yeah.
And since then you've sort of started writing seriously music, producing records and figuring in productions for other people.
Yeah.
And and do you also play on the sessions for other people?
Yeah. We like that. We dig it,
The thing that we have discussed with the other guys who have been in here today, here in our portable studio, is the fact that with so many good things happening, like the records that you fellas are making, the ballad thing is also going very, very large in Britain at the moment. And I think Paul Jones passed a comment that it was a bit alarming because, in fact, a lot of young people were, in fact, buying these records, and it perhaps wasn't the oldies at all. So, as a group that appeals, directly to young people, what have you got to say on that, Cobber?
I don't know, mate.
Good. That's one of the most to the point answers I've had for a long time. Mac. Nice. Good. That was even better.
What was the question? Sorry. All right. What we've done a bit.
Yeah, no, he's reading the playlist, you see, looking for records that we're going to play in a moment. No, but seriously, the thing is that, you guys are a group that appeal to a younger cross-section of the market, and Paul Jones said that he figured that maybe it was, in fact, a lot of young people who were buying the Humperdinck ballad-type things.
I think it's quite possible. See, a lot of groups don't go out on tour now, and there's a gap, it's being filled. And there you go, really.
Yeah, it also probably reverts back to what we have covered this earlier, so right now, about the pirate thing and not enough exposure.
Right, yeah, well, it's all done by one company, which is a bit of a drag, really. Should be like here, competition.
Yeah, breeds, it gets it going. Ken, the sort of things the sort of music that you dig, personally, the sort of people that you would go to see would be what? Or who?
Well, I don't see many people, really. Many artists. Live.
Yeah, no, but I mean the sort of records, or the people's records that you like.
Oh, Booker T and the MGs, the soul music.
Yeah, the soul music thing.
Yeah.
These guys have had some very successful tours in Britain in the last year or so.
Yeah, right, yeah.
And
great.
In fact, this has meant that a lot of local British acts have got off the sort of Negro pop thing, or singing it, and started doing some of their own music, which to me seems like a good thing.
I don't think they've gone off it,
They don't seem to be making records this way anymore, though.
No, I think right material, yeah. Right. The influence is still there, I think as a group, Booker T, for us, it's such a buzz, because organ, guitar, bass, drums, each one is such a king in his own field, I couldn't hope to be a better organist than Booker T, and Ken really digs Al Jackson.
Yeah, so this is a sort of something that you guys can look to.
Of course, Steve, is influenced by the soul thing, but he's also finding his own, scene, and Ronnie too.
Yeah, well, in fact, their writing has changed considerably, hasn't it?
It has, yeah.
Getting better all the time, don't you know? Okay, well, we'll let Smithy play a commercial or a record or something, and we'll get back to biz. We got some feedback somewhere. He laughs nonchalantly. as everybody's eardrums break. Like somebody said there a while back, it'll be tomorrow night, 6 o'clock and 8:45, the two shows for The Small Faces, The Who, Paul Jones and The Questions, and tickets, of course, tomorrow morning at Parlings. In a moment, we're going to play a record that you've selected, Mac, called Through the Grapevine, Gladys Knight and the Pips. The Motown thing generally, you go along with it?
Yeah, right. Terrific drummer.
Yeah, the guy who does all the sessions. It's probably the same fellow, I suppose.
Yeah.
It is?
And a nice bass player, too.
Yeah, they sort of, I've noticed in American records that this sort of wandering bass thing that Motown have had going for a long time is now starting to happen in a lot of other American records. I just can't think of any offhand, but there must be some. But in fact, you know, we noticed this deal the other day, listening to some new imports from the States, that in fact this sort of, and probably I think it'll be a Motown influence starting to happen.
Yeah.
How's it affected British groups generally?
Well, I think, you know, just generally it's a gas like Atlantic and Motown. The scene they've got where it's always the same backing group, and you don't hear much about them, but the sounds they get together are terrific. So like, Gladys Knight, you're a gas too.
Yeah, and in fact, are these the same people who tour with them when they did the British tours?
I'm not sure. I know the organist. I didn't see the tour. I know the organist was the same.
Yeah, they really get this thing, particularly in the Stax Vault organisation. You notice there's something, you know, Booker. Well, Steve Cropper. In fact, this was a sort of a myth that was blown up a bit because everybody figured that it was a sort of a Negro thing happening. But in fact, there are quite a lot of white guys playing in these groups.
Steve Cropper's the only white guy in the group. Oh no, Steve Cropper and the bass player. Back down.
But in Motown, it's all the people, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Kenny, you were talking before about the drummer with Booker T.
Yeah.
What sort of other drummers on the scene do you dig?
Brian Bennett from the Shadows. You know, people like that.
What about the people like Ginger Baker and these sort of cats?
Yeah, Ginger Baker's a cat.
Yeah. They've blown up a pretty big thing in America, which surprised me. I didn't think at first that the Cream would work over there, but apparently they're going, bigger than ever over there.
Where's this?
In America. Their new LP, I think, is number 9. Disraeli Gears is 9 on the charts over there or something. And are they an exciting stage act to see? Or?
Very exciting. Very exciting.
Like the Hendrix thing, or?
Well, I don't think you can compare them, really. I mean, they're two different acts, but they're both exciting acts.
Right, we'll play this record of Max called I Thought I Heard It Through the Grapevine. Ken, we're just talking, one of the chap was talking about Bulimba Pilsner. We're just having a quick chat about the sort of thing that people can expect to see you guys do on stage tomorrow night. Now, perhaps like you could maybe give us a few secrets of sort of numbers that you're going to do?
Well, I've no idea yet.
Right, that's
half an hour of a very loud sound. Right, very loud.
You'll do, the singles that have worked for you, of course.
Itchy Park, yeah. What else did we have? Oh yeah, Tin Soldier. And
go back as far as Shalala or not?
I doubt it, actually.
It's a sort of an entirely different sound, as these days.
Sound.
Your this leads me to the next question. Your recording techniques or your recorded sound has changed a light year, in a matter of a short time. What brought about this about?
We had a bit more time in the studio, I think. Instead of trying to create a live sound, it's nice to try and make. We spend a lot of time, making records. We stopped a lot of bookings, just live in the studio, record it.
Yeah, well, this is the way you get exactly what you want out of a record, of course, isn't it? But do you find that you have problems of getting, say, a really big sound on record, and then you have to go and do a tour, and you've got to do it?
Yeah, but then we try it for singles anyway. We try and keep it so that the instruments we can always use them on stage. Like Tin Soldier, we use all those instruments on stage when we do it.
Yeah, in fact, how many times does everybody swap around on instruments on stage?
Oh, well, Steve plays a bit of piano, I play a little bit of piano, and we all have a go at singing and sort of covering up noises,
That was really what I wanted, the fact that I think, we're coming on the bus today, somebody said that Steve would probably do a thing on piano.
Yeah. Feature number.
A feature number. Lovely, a feature number. Sorry about Pete. Well, we're going to do this record now that...
that shall he also reap. And Jesus taught that, and he taught that there was reincarnation, but some fool...
Bags and glad rags, which... how's it going in England? Is it...
I haven't got any idea. I don't know how we're doing in England, actually. Where's England?
It's that place with all the snow and rain and everything. I think it's getting it. It's the reports we're getting from Britain now that that it's going okay over there, and apparently Tony Crawler tells me in America, Handbags and Dad Rags is starting to work for Chris Farlow. He's a groovy artist, right?
Yeah, he's a right nice guy.
Right?
Yeah. Nice.
Right then. Chris Farlow, in fact, had a hit with one of your songs, didn't he?
Ronnie and Steve, yeah.
Your Ronnie and Steve song, yeah.
Yeah.
Which was My Way of Giving, wasn't it? And, yeah.
I'm trying to remember.
In fact, yeah, it was on one of your, the latest LP of yours that's released in Australia. You have another track already in the can, is this right?
Not yet, not for single, not definite single. We can't say till we're finished, we've got a lot of unfinished tracks in it.
I see, so that you'll probably get an LP.
We might get one better, the one we have,
Yeah. And what, you'll have an LP and maybe a single out of a session when you go home?
Yeah, we've done sort of most of the LP.
What sort of plan, after you leave Australia, what sort of plans do you have? Are you setting, if Tin Soldier looks like working, you'll probably go to the States, will you?
Yeah, we hope so. My parents can come along. It's a long story.
You haven't been to the States as a group touring yet, have you?
No.
And let me see, Tin Soldier, will this be the first one that's worked for? Because Ichiku didn't happen all that well over there, did it?
Ichiku Park? In the States?
Oh, sorry, yeah. Stand corrected, number 6. We were talking about that earlier, weren't we? But I've been in the studio too long. I want to tell you about that. Let's get on to a record. We have, what have we got? Chris Farlow's record, which is called Handbags and Glad Rags.